Gaming has become, online everything. Conventions definitely pull people together.
It's really easy to get frustrated. You're trying to run to an appointment and you just see a sea of humanity in front of you. But if you have the privilege of having a press badge for a video game convention, I think your first responsibility is to your readers to bring them coverage.
These are moments that people sign online to read about games news, and a lot of it in a very short span of time.
It's a great way to gauge the reactions of the people who are playing these games.
Today is day one of TGS, only gaming convention where Wi-Fi is banned. I don't really understand how that's possible. Today is the business day, which means the public isn't allowed to come, but I guess industry people, journalists, the business days are a respite from the true insanity that is TGS.
I don't think we're gonna see any cosplay.
I mean, there will be a little bit, just people that like booth babes, but...
Booth companions.
Sorry.
Okay. So what happens is every morning, all of the booth companions will line up and greet people as they come into the show. So as you can see, Gree, I think, may have the most booth companions of any exhibitor at TGS this year.
It's sort of like being at the DMV. It's just like a lot of process to just get me here. Okay, so Assassin's Creed, it's 3. 3? I guess there's a reason for the order, but it does seem a little overly complicated. And they changed it to Assassin's Creed Lady Liberty here in Japan, because it stars a lady.
Sounded like today.
Yeah,
sure.
that's what we were.
No, I got an email like 7:52 this morning.
Yeah, I think we all got that email. Yeah, so we were told to be here at 11:30 a.m. today, and they said, "Yep, we're on the books for tomorrow at 10:30 a.m." So I don't know if we'll be able to actually make that, but we'll find out soon enough.
Being in Japan, TGS is definitely a different beast entirely. Can we move this up? It's good here. Good, bad. Good, bad. There are many cultural and language barriers that Western members of the press have to get over. Okay, yeah. Can we adjust this though? Because, sorry.
There's something that I love and I dread about video game shows. You're excited to get there. The moment you get there, you're exhausted and you're stressed out and you're hungry and you just want it to end. And then the moment it's over, you're like, man, I really miss that.
I think 115,000 people that are here. Internet doesn't work. There is no internet. That little circle of death has been the story of my week. It's definitely been weird because I'm a cosplayer. A lot of my friends are cosplayers. I love this is awesome. Thank you. And I started a blog, I did a bunch of projects on it, and next thing you know, here I am, handing out business cards with my face made out of little polygons on it. And it's just been a really I'm glad I'm here. The big difference between being a fan and being a journalist is that we're not there to play. We have a duty to our readers to make sure that they're well informed and that they get this information. Not all of our readers are in New York and going to New York Comic Con. We are going to the press room, which appears to be swamped again.
You have to be able to just drop into the middle of a mess of stuff. You need no sort of prep time. Just be able to immediately whip out your notepad and start taking notes and filing stories.
Right on the panel, go back to the press room, get it up, do some research, prep for my interviews, go to the interview, do the demo, come back, transcribe, write up everything, and then get it up.
I've had to have been trained by Brian to go in with this hunger for news that he seems to have burning within him.
He can be a little curt about making sure that things are happening, but he just wants the story up.
Yeah, it's part of his management style.
Yeah.
He is very good at motivating you.
I have to constantly remind myself what it's like to be there when I'm not there. Stuff happens. Mike and I have worked together for a long time. I know that he's not going to drop the ball in coverage, but there's still times where I'm like, what the is going on? Where's the story? So how are you guys doing? Give us a rundown of how things are going TGS-wise. Or do you feel like you're caught up?
No.
TGS was a really weird show. because there was a real lack of news and a real lack of access.
So yeah, I think today we're gonna have the keynote. I think regardless of the content, we're gonna get some kind of story out of it.
Yeah.
Just let me know in terms of your stuff coming out. Just try to get your stories done that day if possible so you don't have too much of a build-up. I'd prefer that anything other than stuff that really can stand on its own run the week of the show, if possible, obviously.
We're heading to the Sony press conference. Sony has some sort of announcement they've got going on. Some people think it's a redesigned PS3, smaller PS3. It's sort of an X factor. We're basically just deciding whether we're going to do a full live blog of the event as it's happening. We just don't know if it's possible to do right now.
While keeping the present function, we had made the hardware more compact with new design. Please take a look. This is the new PS3.
We were trying to live blog that press conference and it was a mess.
It's a little tough when somebody's speaking in one ear in English and broken English and there's Japanese on stage.
Those events, especially in Tokyo, are very tricky because obviously there needs to be a translator. And there's always a bit of a concern there that a translator is not accurately capturing exactly what they're saying.
You know, this is still under development, but we hope that you are able to tell that you spent a lot of effort into the visuals and the cinematic scenes.
Trade shows are traditionally where you have a lot more access to developers and publishers and people from the platform holders as well.
It's actually pretty common for Japanese demos to be very focused around the presentation rather than just letting people play the game.
Called Giant Monster. Oh my God!
In a roundtable interview, surrounded by 8 to 10 members of your competition, you might be lucky to get a question asked in that sort of scenario. That said, going to individual developers, we were able to get some really good stories out of those interviews.
We're coming over to talk to the guy who's a producer on Fist of the North Star, Ken's Rage 2. It's kind of funny, like, you know, we're just standing next to a wall in the Tecmo Koei booth talking to the guy. It's maybe a little bit slapdash, but we sometimes get some really great insights into stuff that we never know how it's made otherwise.
Kind of looks like a fruit roll-up made of the sea. Why does it taste horrible? Is it supposed to sound like that? I had never been to Japan before. I think before I went, I was envisioning a very alien experience. Wacky neon anime signs and just insanity, and it was more grounded than I was expecting it to be. It's pretty common during these big trade shows to have evening events. The show will run from 9 to 5 or 9 to 6, and then you'll have an event that starts at 8 and might run till midnight. People see the press shots of people drinking and there's music and it's fun. After running the floor for 10, 12 hours, I just want to nap. This show continues to be harder and harder for Western press to cover. If the lack of news continues to next year, I don't think it's necessarily worth sending 2 people and a cameraman out there. But as for trade shows in general, they're certainly not going away. They're hugely important to the games industry.
It's in our human nature to want to play, and it's our human nature to want to play with other people and share those experiences. And this is a very convenient and a little expensive excuse to do this in person rather than speak to you through a headset and watch an avatar.
So for us, having those events where we can really show our A game and bring the whole team working together on one thing is great. And hopefully that doesn't change anytime soon.
It's pretty easy for me to tell within a pretty short amount of time if the person's going to be a right fit for the job. Right now we are at 243 people have applied for that, which is a lot of applications to read.